nothing predestined me to stand here in front of you. 77 years ago, my father arrived in Europe from Algeria looking for work. He found a job in a coal mine in the Borinage, a very poor region of Belgium, where I was born. I was not expected to go to university, but I did. I was not meant to become the first female war reporter, special envoy, and television anchor from North African origin. But I did. And I wasn't supposed to serve my country as a Minister of Foreign Affairs and European Affairs, but I have. So why do I tell you my story? Because it's a European story. It is what Europe is about: equality, solidarity, and opportunity. These are the European values that have made me who I am. A steadfast believer in a society free from discrimination and free from inequality. A Europe where everyone can live freely, prosper, and express their full potential. And if confirmed, these are the values that I will continue to fight for every day of my mandate. After meeting many of you in recent weeks, I'm convinced that we share the same goals. Your role as members of the Parliament will be key in this process, and I'm committed to reporting to you on a regular basis on progress made. Early next year, I will present a roadmap for women's rights on International Women's Day. It will be our guiding compass for a new post-2025 gender equality strategy. There is absolutely no place for discrimination in a union with the motto, united in diversity. Yet for many people, discrimination is a cruel and daily reality, a constant obstacle throughout their lives. Since 2020, the Commission has put forward initiatives to tackle racism and to support LGBTIQ people and Roma communities. We will take further action to reinforce them. If confirmed, I will propose a renewed LGBTIQ equality strategy for post-2025, along with a new anti-racism strategy. Over the past 5 years, we have made groundbreaking progress in building a union of equality. Crucial legislation has been adopted, and now it's the moment of truth. We must put them into action at the moment where our values are under threat. Implementation will be at the heart of my mandate, and if confirmed, I will work with Member States to make a real difference in the lives of our people. The EU has taken strong action to combat violence against women, to empower women at work, and to promote women in decision-making. Building a fairer and more inclusive union free from discrimination will be a Team Europe effort. If confirmed, I will therefore work closely with all commissioners to mainstream equality and non-discrimination in all EU policies with the help of the Task Force of Equality. I will also ensure the full implementation of the Istanbul Convention. And I will take concrete action to fight discrimination, hate speech and hate crimes. I will also put in place new actions implementing our strategy for the rights of persons with disabilities and the Roma strategic framework. In today's hyper-connected digital world, we also need to do better at protecting people against online violence, especially women and children. I intend to work with social media platforms to better protect our citizens, including supporting the action plan against cyberbullying in close cooperation with other commissioners. Honourable chairs, Honourable members, today our union faces risks that defy borders and cut across every part of our society. From security and economic stability to climate, technology and public health. One thing is clear. We can no longer just react to crises. We must proactively prepare for them. My mission will be to empower Europe to better anticipate, prevent and prepare for crisis, and we must do it together. We stand for a Europe that shields its citizens at home and acts with solidarity on the global stage. I will therefore focus on building a robust EU preparedness union strategy to support member states, the first responders when disaster strikes. I intend to present this strategy early in my mandate, and it will focus on 3 key areas. First, taking a proactive all-hazard approach to crisis. Second, boosting coordination across sector and across government. And third, getting the whole of society involved, and especially our citizens, to build a culture of preparedness across our continent. And I will work closely with my fellow commissioners to build on the special report of former Finnish President Niinistö. The Union Civil Protection Mechanism, the Emergency Response Coordination Centre and the Rescue Strategic Reserve are powerful instruments of European solidarity, and I plan to reinforce them. We need better coordination between the EU and our member states, and we will assess whether a preparedness law can help. I'm also committed to working towards a European civil defence mechanism that takes a comprehensive approach to all aspects of crisis and disaster management. Climate change is one of the greatest risks to our security. And yes, we just mentioned it just last week. The flash floods in Spain once again confronted us with this reality. On October 29, Spain activated the Copernicus Emergency Management Service, requesting rapid satellite mapping for flood delineation and damage assessment. And we have provided that. The EU stands ready to support at any moment, also through the EU Civil Protection Mechanism, with response teams and a broad range of equipment and material supplies should Spain decide to request such support. The EU strategic reserves, RescEU, can also be mobilised for a kind assistance if needed. These floods are yet another terrible demonstration that we need to be better prepared for disasters. So I will reinforce our climate resilience and preparedness and contribute to our climate plan adaptation. I will also work with our global partners to build climate resilience by exchanging expertise and best practices in a spirit of solidarity. We are all in this together. The COVID pandemic taught us hard lessons about the limits of our readiness. The most important is no one country can tackle a global health emergency alone. If confirmed, I will work to develop a new strategy to support medical countermeasures to address public health threats. And this will include joint procurement and stockpiling and working to secure medicines from research to manufacturing. We must also make sure that our union is prepared for chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear threats. HERA will play a crucial role by ensuring that medical countermeasures are available to protect and save the lives of our citizens. Honourable chairs, honourable members, the world is more dangerous today than any time since the Second World War. Humanitarian crises continue to spiral. Today, hundreds of millions of people need humanitarian assistance. The global response is not nearly enough. And the principles of international humanitarian law, recognized by all countries as universal, are being violated every day. And the principles such as not targeting civilians, schools and hospitals, or not using people as human shields in conflicts. These principles are part of our common humanity. Even in time of war, we must never lose our common humanity. The EU must continue to be a leader in humanitarian action, helping people in need wherever they are, whoever they are. If confirmed, I will be a tireless advocate for a strong EU humanitarian action based on the principles of humanity, neutrality, impartiality, and independence. Helping to resolve conflicts, address political tensions, rebuild social cohesion, and boost resilience and security. I will cooperate with the High Representative Vice President, Commissioner for International Partnerships, and other commissioners to design a Commission-wide integrated approach to support fragile countries through an even more coherent triple nexus: humanitarian, development, peace. It is the only way to ensure a rapid and effective response to crisis while also tackling the root causes of fragility and conflicts. Ending poverty and hunger and ensuring access to health and education, these are the first sustainable development goals. And that is why we must continue to invest in humanitarian aid and provide assistance to the most fragile, often the first victims also, in times of crisis. And that is where humanitarian aid is directly linked to equality. I will also continue supporting the work of the United Nations. Today, there are more than 120 armed conflicts around the world, 3 times more than at the beginning of the century. While we are dedicating significant efforts and resources to address the situation in Ukraine or in the Middle East, we must also remain equally attentive to the situation in other parts of the globe, including Afghanistan, Sudan, or Yemen. It is about our international humanitarian commitments, but also about our own security. I will continue reinforcing our humanitarian emergency response tools. We need to improve the services offered to humanitarian partners and member states and fill the gap in our humanitarian response. Last year, over 90% of humanitarian contributions came from just 20 countries around the globe. This is neither fair, neither sustainable. I will therefore encourage member states to respect their voluntary target of 0.07% of GNI for humanitarian aid. And I will also encourage G20 and OECD countries to make a fair contribution. And the EU will continue to play its part with regard to humanitarian aid. Public money is not enough to meet the soaring needs. We also need to get the private sector on board in order to play a larger role in the provision and scaling up technology as well, and to a smaller extent to deliver of humanitarian aid. The ambition is to channel some of the vast resources of private finance and development finance institutions towards addressing humanitarian needs. Honourable chairs, honourable members, we must build a union based on truth, on trust, not on fears. Determination, not hesitation. We must embrace the future with all its challenges and its crisis. That means preparing ourselves, equipping our rescue and emergency services, and being ready as one union. A union based on trust, where people are treated equally, without fear, rejection or discrimination, sticking together in difficult times for the good of all, demonstrating EU solidarity at home and abroad. This is how we will make sure we are building a better future for all children and for all grandchildren. I thank you.